without any further ado, because as I said, time is very precious here, it's my honor to welcome on stage Klaus Kohlmayr from Ideas, I'm sorry, and Jörg Böckler from the Dorint Hotels Group. And everyone here should know Dorint Hotels. Jörg, where can they find your booth in Hall 9? Do you have a booth this year?
No.
No?
We're actually partnering with the Deutsche Zentrale für Tourismus, DZT.
Wonderful. So DZT, so that they can be found. Make sure to join Dorint Hotels on LinkedIn. And I hand over the stage, and I'm looking forward to your insights, Klaus. I think it's going to be very interesting. So 20 minutes ahead. Also a note, that's up to you, Klaus. When you want to include questions, feel free to. We have microphones here. Well, I'm stoked. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Excited to be here. My name is Klaus Kohlmayr. I'm the Chief Evangelist of Ideas, which means a lot of my job consists of having conversations like this with people like Jörg. Jörg, why don't you introduce yourself?
Thank you very much, Klaus. Well, Klaus and I know each other for quite some time because we used to work for the same company many, many decades ago. My name is Jörg Böckler. I'm the CEO and Managing Director of Dorint Hospitality and Innovation Group, based in Cologne. I've returned from extensive travels around the world about 6 years ago to Germany, and this is where the base is.
And everyone should check out Jörg's shoes, the coolest CEO with the coolest shoes, so I'm jealous. Okay, well, a little bit about Dorint. Let me open my phone first. Okay, here we go. So just a little bit of scene setting, and then we'll have a conversation between Jörg and I. And if anyone has any questions, just put your hand up, and we have microphones kind of rolling around here, roaming around. So we'd like to make this as interactive as possible. So Jörg, the last few years certainly been difficult for hospitality and for all of us. We had COVID, and then we had the invasion of the Ukraine, and then we had the impact on the energy prices. And then Germany is maybe not in a recession, depending who you ask, with weakening demand, and we have continuing high inflation, high borrowing costs, and all that going on. So the challenges just keep coming. And it's not an easy environment for sure for all of us to operate in hospitality. But Dorint Hotels, at the same time, seems to be in a real expansion course. You have a new hotel in Jena, 2 new hotels in Switzerland, 5 others announced as part of a strategy to go from 57 hotels to 100 hotels by 2028. Quite ambitious. And a number of your hotels are now performing beyond 2019, which for many of us is still the yardstick and benchmark. Your slogan is where everything is possible, and we'll talk about that over the next few minutes. And I'm really, really pleased to have you here to have a conversation about what is possible and how do we drive commercial success in hotels. We've seen a lot of that just now with Revinate, and there is a great conversation to be had. So my first question is congratulations to the expansion. You've been with the company for 6 years. How is Dorint different today than it was when you joined the company 6 years ago?
Well, you mentioned one thing earlier on, and I would like to comment on that. I think to operate hotels in these under these circumstances, macroeconomic circumstances, means you need a lot of resilience. But resilience and positiveness is, of course, key for a positive guest journey. And that is what we're all about. And that is the reason why we have chosen that slogan in the middle of COVID. So how is Dorint different to when I first joined? I think it's very simple to say, when I joined Dorint, we had one brand. We had 37 hotels. We had about 2,500 employees, and we were operating mainly under the roof of lease agreements. Now, we looked at Dorint and we thought that a diversification of the brand was necessary to grow and also to grow positive guest expectations and deliver on those. So we thought that it would be a good idea to actually diversify the brand portfolio. That is why we came up with Essential by Dorint, which is a 3-star brand. It has all the essences of the mother brand Dorint. That is why we call it Essential by Dorint. We also diversified upwards. So we now have a luxury portfolio called the Homage Luxury Hotels Collection, where the essence really is that we have so-called hotel personalities. These are hotels with great character, and we put them under a brand umbrella, but market their individualities. Also, we looked at where we operate and how we operate. And the where was very clearly move away from A and B destinations and take opportunity in C destinations. We've done that, and we've done that quite successfully. On the other hand side, we looked at the contractual issues, and of course lease agreements bear a certain element of risk because you are in the driving seat in all aspects of the business. And we decided that it would be a good idea to also go for management contracts and to also go for franchise contracts. And we had to ask the question, are we ready to franchise our own brand? And so we became, for the Dorint brand, a franchisor. However, we did build the whole structure, the modular system before, and that is what made the difference. So that allowed us to grow, more hotels, more rooms, more beds, and of course more customers. But on the other hand side, also more employees. So today we're looking at 58 open hotels, a pipeline of 7. We're also looking at about 3,700 employees, and we're talking about a completely changed guest journey for our guests.
We'll talk a little bit about the guest journey now. And incredible already that you've added on 20 hotels in 6 years, and more to come. And I love that brand extension as well, kind of going upwards and downwards. So when it comes to commercial strategy specifically for Dorint, what kind of shifts have you made over the last few years that you feel had a large impact? I know you obviously have more brands now that you can work with. You can attract different customer groups. How specifically have you reworked your commercial strategies to do that?
Well, the most important element was when I started in 2018. The vast majority of our business was actually third-party business. So we looked at how we present ourselves commercially. We initiated a complete revamp of the website, and with the diversification of brands, the other new websites. We believe a website is never finished. So it is consistent work which needs to be done on the website. We have looked at how we can integrate booking engines, how we can integrate other digital tools, etc. And that all worked. And what we have experienced is a shift to brand.com. So regardless of whether it is the Homage brand or the Dorint brand, our most loyal customers certainly come to our home page, to our web page, and book where we like them to book with little commissions and a close user shop offering.
Which means you can interact and engage the customers very
Absolutely.
differently than through third parties,
Yep,
right?
yep.
Have you made other enhancements in terms of becoming more flexible? We talked in our prep call a little bit about groups and events and how you have rejiggled kind of your approach as you see a shift in the group and events business over the last couple of years, especially post-pandemic, right?
Yes. Look, COVID was a time where everything came to a standstill. I think everybody in the room experienced that. So we have taken that time to really work on our strategy and see what can we do to really shift the needle. Part of what we then did is we engaged with a very popular consulting company and looked at how popular are our brands, how loyal are our most loyal guests, and what can we do to enhance all of that. And what came out was certainly that there was a lot of opportunity to do certain improvements. And that is what we did. So we looked at parts of engagement, and we're now harvesting channels where we can talk directly. We have engaged with so-called super trends. And one of the super trends at the time was authenticity, and the other one was flexibility. Now, they couldn't be more different, because authenticity is something which lies in the eyes of the beholder. So you look at us and see whether we're authentic or not. We can try very hard to be authentic, but it depends on how you look at us. But flexibility is certainly something where we are going to be in the driver's seat. And we looked at terms and conditions and all of that. And I think the key to be successful in the MICE market is flexibility. It is flexibility in offering. It is flexibility in pricing. It is flexibility in contracting. And you have to be fast. You have to convert fast in order to get the business.
Absolutely. I think people are just impatient to wait 2 or 3 or 4 days to get a response, right? Now the response needs to be really immediate. If anyone has any questions, just put your hands up, just as a reminder, and somebody will come to you with a microphone. We've got about 8 minutes here left. If you have any pressing things you want to ask Jörg. So where would you say are the biggest areas of opportunity to reshape commercial strategies going ahead? We have the labor shortages, we have rising costs, we have changing customer behaviors. We also have new technology tools, like we just saw with Revinate here, that are available to more and more hotels at a lower cost or more reasonable cost. So where do you feel is the biggest opportunity?
Well, I think the biggest threat to any strategy at the moment is that you can't execute because you don't have the people to execute. And that's not necessarily a skills shortage. I think it is possibly more a demographic change, it is a geopolitical change, and on top of it, we also have a labor shortage per se. Doesn't matter whether it's skilled or unskilled. And we need to overcome that because we are ultimately in the people business. So the way we look at it is we identify those touch points in a guest journey which are really relevant to the guest. These are the touch points which we have to deliver on with consistency, with a lot of guest love, with a lot of care. Now, there might be a lot of other touch points which are not necessarily so relevant to the guest journey. And these are the ones where we work with digitalization, where we work with automatization, and where we actually look at processes and even see whether there is opportunity to use artificial intelligence. And I think that will possibly what sort of gets us over all the macroeconomic issues which we have to deal with every day, and stay relevant to our guests. So focus on where we need to deliver service, and wherever we don't need to deliver it in person, what help can we get through digitalization? And what we've seen here with Revinate earlier on is part of that, to bring the experience alive and to see how we can actually market it to the customer.
And I believe automation is great, but at the same time, it should help engage better with your customers, right? It shouldn't remove, or it shouldn't create a distance between you and the client or the customer or the guest. So it should really bring you closer through automation and through technology. Let's talk a little bit about personalization, since you mentioned it. There was a recent study by American Express. They showed that 80% of travelers are willing to switch a brand in favor of a personalized experience, and 57% of travelers believe that brands should personalize information in the beginning of a search process. I know personalization has kind of, it's a two-edged sword, right? We all want it, but at the same time, we don't want our data to be, floating out in space without any protection. So what is your opinion on the journey on personalization in the context of data protection, privacy, and all the things that we're always faced with?
Well, I think one of the trends we see in travel is that people are lurking for experiences. And of course, an experience only then becomes an experience of value, which you treasure in your heart if it is personalized. So given that that is something a consumer wants, we need to see how we can put that into a legal framework. Now, of course, preferences management is one thing. So we have data protection acts which allow us to store preferences in a broader way. So I can market to my golf friends and to those who like horse riding or like to play tennis, or converted foodies or whatever. But where I find it very difficult, and that is where it really matters in 5-star, is to really see how I can get my guest journey personalized. And that means, what is my preferred coffee? What's my preferred milk? How would I like my car to be treated when I come, etc. And that is something where we have a problem, because the legal framework, the ESGVO or the DSGVO, which is possibly topping it all, doesn't allow us to, and that is quite difficult. So let's not go back to actually write little scorecards about what's happening, but we really need to see how we can sort of get that into a framework which works. And here I would actually say to politics, revisit the DSGVO and other things, because quite frankly we're completely overdoing it.
It seems like it's hindering your ability to deliver a great experience or personalized experiences to some extent.
Sure.
Okay. Any questions?
Yes, we have a question over here, right, and a microphone as well.
3 minutes left here.
Yes, we have the time for questions, I say, and we should take the time too. Could you please tell us who you are, who you're representing, and your question? That would be wonderful, so we know who the question is coming from.
I assume all the questions are for Jörg, not for me.
Yes. My name is Benisi. I'm a hotelier in Venice, Italy. You mentioned about the labor shortage and AI. Unfortunately, we as a hotelier and the hospitality business, we have a labor shortage in the area that AI it didn't arrive yet, like housekeeping, everyone I think I know, and the kitchen behind the doors. Do you think one day AI arrive in those areas? And in the second question, whose responsibility to attract the young people in these areas, like housekeepings or kitchen or serving, that to my mind we can never get to AI to do cleaning the rooms for us? Is government, is the schools, is us as a hotelier, who has to do this job? Thank you.
Well, let me try and answer it backwards forward. I think first of all, yes, we're all in the same boat, because Italy and Germany and Austria, we're all under the umbrella of the European Union. And indeed, if we want to overcome the labor shortage, we need to completely revisit our integration laws which we have. So we need to see that we can shift people who would like to come to Europe and who have the qualifications into our framework. We are discussing that actually at great length at the German government, and they like to sort of hide behind European law, but I think it is a topic which needs to be discussed. Now, in terms of making good labor, skilled labor, is in our responsibility as hoteliers, I suppose. And since we are not dealing with rocket science, I think we should be able to do that. Now, to come to your question of AI, I think AI at this stage is suitable for all the things where you don't have personal contact with guests. I think AI should not be mistaken for a robot, for a machine, for automation. That's a different sort of kind of thing. So I would try very hard and enhance those touch points where we touch our guests with people and try to see that we have enough people there, and all the other things which are administrational things, for example, could possibly be helped with AI. Now, you've asked whether I have seen AI technology in kitchens, and I can recall, yes, I have. I was at a summit last November where the great world-leading brands of cooking manufacturing were presenting their machinery. And yes, there is a hell of a lot happening. So machines can cook, and machine can make cocktails, etc. However, when it comes to something which is individual taste, then it falls short. So you can produce big items, big ticket items, which are easy and have easy recipes, but when it comes to bespoke food, that's not yet there.
And I'm sure we could have a whole conversation just about AI. So maybe that we'll do next year.
Yeah.
Because we're out of time this year. So thank you. I know there were some other people that had questions. We don't have time for that, but that was a great conversation. Thank you, Jörg, for joining me on stage.
Thank you so much to
Great
both
honor.
of you. Klaus Kohlmayr from Ideas and Thomas Jörg Böckler from Dorint Hotels. That was very interesting listening to you. Thank you.